Oh, really? He'll look back. That figures. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, hijinks. Thank you. Did you see that? Made Susan. Susan. Well, I already did it. It wasn't great. That's generous of you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Agenda. This Saturday, I'm looking at TV. I have 2 meetings before. I gotta remember I got like this. Oh my God. Yeah. We might be now. Chair, she said she wasn't going to be here with one of his. Chair, she's usually here. Their treasurer. Yeah. How are we looking?
They just asked about.
Yeah, she's on.
Let's-
Yeah.
It's kind of.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
Like 3 doors down. Okay. Okay.
I was thinking, I thought I might call this school and bring in.
Temperature. Yeah, because.
Then we're doing our committee report outs for the year tonight, so there's all the reports from the committees, and then we'll. Yeah, you want help? Telling you, these are the best staff every time. I never know how to do that. Right. Very. Oh, that's it. Usually.
Okay, give me 100. Oh, because you guys are like.
I didn't come out sick.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's.
You just got something Taylor Swift and R.M. Keats. That's me. I'm sorry. Oh. So to speak. Yes.
Like, oh, like, every resident. All of you.
It's also.
There's 8,000 households that we're not gonna be able to reach. That's why we.
Yeah. That's it.
Oh, no. But, Okay. Okay, how can everybody hear me all right? How are we all doing? Gonna get going and get started here. Sorry about the delay. What I'm gonna do here. So I think we're a couple of people short of quorum, but we got some folks still walking in, so we'll go ahead and get started. Start off with public announcement, and so we got Officer Brown. We'll get started with him. If he's ready.
How's everyone doing? Great. So, before I get started, real quick, my number is right on my desk, 979. So I had a couple of questions come up real quick about, Old Town Park Farm. One of their has cars been parked forever. Actually more than 24 hours, it hasn't moved. You see it being a problem or eyesore or whatever, feel free to give me a call. What I need is the color, make the model, and the address where that car is located at. You got a license plate number, something that will help me identify that car. That one pet peeve when you call. Keep your message. On the runway, just keep it brief. If I need to call you and reach out to you, I will. Somebody. Will get you, or even speak out in this week. I had to speak for me to the side. I've actually helped here in the last week or so. So the system does work. It's a process that we have to follow before we just take the car off the street. And that becomes, it can't be a cat and mouse game, and I want to explain how to play that because I don't want to pass on. So, without further ado, last 20 days of rolling reporting, we had one homicide. I'll come back to a couple of these. We had one homicide, one robbery, one felonious assault, one burglary, autos, 3 auto thefts. We had actually 9 person thefts. So I just wanted to touch back. I'm sure a lot of people here have heard it, but in the 6100 block of road, a very tragic situation took place. I say I'm not able to speak on who was charged with fact, etc. But since they posted and as things unfold, as verdicts and reached or whatever, pass those on to everybody else. So, I just asked that, and we're seeing this more and more from these step models. We're having I believe it's the time where it's more prevalent, people carrying not carrying this gun. You get out and report it to a place that gun are prohibited. You think it's in your seat or in your console or in your glove box. Because when these people are getting in your car, those are the first 3 places that they're looking. I don't automobile, it's unsecured, it's incredible. As we get into the Christmas season, when you know you're the ones who are shopping, you got a bunch of bags on your front seat or on the back seat. I thought we put all that stuff in the trunk before we get to it. Because don't sit in the mall waiting to pray on you. See you putting all this stuff in your trunk. So, say, be careful with that. We had felonious assault in the 4300 block of Centennial. Those are satisfied. So they went back. Started administering, a very physical attack. Sad thing is that this individual was actually running from their attacks and with no place else to turn after being assaulted in a severe way the day before. So. It's auto theft. It pulled out. City ordinance. Back to the park on City Street. But what we're finding the trend is now insurance companies are holding you responsible. They said you contribute to that. You have the keys to the car, why should you pay your car? Well, that's why it's taken them so long to pay your car off. And we don't know, well, they don't know if we got into a point. Yeah. So what they do is sit back. You'll make payments on the car sometimes better than a year and a half. Start paying the rest of the bill. Say keep mine, we'll start a couple minutes early. Car nice and warm, chicken for yourselves, or get you a remote start. I'm not gonna promote that, but the one thing about most remote starts, and once you start that car with remote, once someone gets in your car, the minute they touch the in here, the car cut off. So if you on it, research. Questions for me? Yes, Dan.
This particular area for this.
No, actually, so it's not all. So. You know, place there, pretty decent, nice place. You know, I ended up there because this individual was trying to escape the situation that they were involved in, so they would stand at a sibling. Ended up there. So, in the robbery, we had a robbery that took place in the 6300 block of Bramble. Come on. You getting out, you want to take a walk. You should be mindful anyway. You just in that day and time. You should be mindful and understand your surroundings, know your surroundings. Look, if you don't feel right, you're probably not right. So just be careful because you get into that holiday season and they're looking for you. Yes.
That, allow with that, I'm not going on with that. None of them.
So I don't talk that gun for a reason. And let me start off by saying I'm not an attorney. But I will assure you of this. Whether you see somebody in good standing that is such a phrase as good standing or just cause, you're gonna still attend. You're still attend court. There's a process that everyone has to follow. So if you think this guy's in your driveway and he's robbing you and you shooting, killing, what have you, you think that's the end of it for the police to sort of. What'll happen is, they take each circumstance and they present it to a prosecutor. And there'll be some kind of formal action system. And I believe in the system. I've seen it work for civilians. And I would just say that just be mindful. And I'll just say this. If anybody here is carrying a gun, These, this is what I encourage. I never discourage you about carrying on, but get proficient. We've seen more times that you carry a gun and you think that's a fix-all, and that gun gets taken away from you and get used on you. That's it. There's a couple things that play a part. Proper holster, proper way to carry. But it's bigger than just, purchasing a gun, putting that gun in your so you think that you're secure. So I would just encourage you that you, to the best of your ability, try to get some training. Question. So you have to go through the process, but you're not going to discharge a fire into someone, and that's going to be the end of it. There's going to be some questions asked why you did it and all that stuff. It's not a conviction process, it's more of an information. No, it's actually Fairfax. So you're referring to Donald Redmond? That would be Fairfax, so we don't get information out for there. Something spiritual, right?
Yeah, thank you for coming out. Okay, next up would be Rex. Video. All right.
Hello. Okay. This has one of the community center directors here at Madisonville Rec. And I would like to tell you about some of the programs and what we are hoping to let the community know that we are here for. Brian Zerbezi and I are looking. You can I guess you can say this, let the seniors know that we are here and we're trying to bring more programming here for our seniors. My direct focus is our youth. I have a teen explosion program for preteens that have been aged out of day camp that still wants to come to the rec. I've created things like boxing so that they have positive ways to release any frustrations they may have. Financial literacy courses, and we're doing a carpentry course right now, seeing some cabinets, things that they can probably grow up to be doing trade wise. From Monday through Friday, you have any program suggested for seniors and or adults. We would love to hear those ideas and bringing the community back to rec. Have any questions, anyone?
They will also charge the equipment and
Brian Zerbezi, yes.
Twice last weekend, my granddaughter was there. We got a nice 16 months old, we got a nice playground equipment. Right in the immediate area, right to come into the park. Heard to all other folks, other Hamilton County and Paramount County Park. We don't have a swing set up for toddlers. And if there is one, it's not there where all the other recreational equipment is. So, but there's all that construction going on up on the hill, so it's not really something you want to take a child up to. Now, is there any way we can get a toddler swing there?
I put in an addition to the playground up there on the hill. They're doing a new playground. I'm not sure what it's going to consist of, but I would definitely let Brian know.
Well, it just seems like if you have a playground done as a toddler equipment, I would just
Yeah, that's the construction at the top of Granville Park. That's the nature of the place, yeah. And then they are going to add another swing set down by the playground, for children with like physical disabilities. That's. Thank you. All right, so speaking of Bramble Park, we do have to talk about Bramble Park and Little Duck Creek from the park board. We have Joel Gross and the mic off to him. So he's looking for any kind of feedback from the community. Construction down there by the creek itself. So we also talk about that as well. But here I'll let him introduce himself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Joel Gross. I'm the district manager of planning and design for Cincinnati Parks. Just want to introduce myself tonight, let you know I've been on the job, I think tomorrow is 7 months, so new to the city, but are finishing up a project, as you guys are well aware of, the first phase, and redoing some of Up Creek Trail next to Bramble and adjacent to that loop, as you see. A lot more that needs to be done above and below it for erosion. By training, I'm a head grants certified water and soil water and all that kind of stuff. It's my forte. It's what I love to do. So Bramble Creek, the Bramble area, right? Guys, can give us projects you'd like to see. I appreciate the comment about the playgrounds. We work quite closely with CRC to help do some of that kind of. Yeah, I've been put on that as well. A lot of times people have questions about where the park boundaries lie, so I let Parks Control, and I provided a blow up tour of the area right along Little Duck Creek, so I can kind of show you what we're in charge of, things that parks and the park board owns, and we're willing to help on all objects and properties adjacent to those. So, any questions? So,
So there's a little wooded area, and I thought, a few years ago, they was talking. So, is that considered as a park? What is that?
Yeah, so if you're talking about Settle Street between Erie and Rowe, that's what's on the map up here. And so these green by the park board. And so it's been like that for a very long time. And there are benches that have been installed along the area there. I think that was Boy Scout group project. Eagle Scout group time anymore.
basic species through there, like vegetation and stuff like that. Yeah. It's used to go on a walk the next couple of days and check it out.
And it's a regular, or it's a lack of signage. You point people in the right way so they know public property. They don't walk into somebody's yard or an accident. Here we go. Let me move on. And you are walking in the direction of Plainville from Settle, and there's kind of like a circle, and then you all big yard, like that big yard, yeah, that's private property. So please don't, yeah, please respect their property line. Yeah, that's very sharp line. The plan for that, it would be on either side of this trailhead right here. It would block on either side of those entries, so people can still walk across, right? Like par blocking the trail entrance.
Yeah, first of all, the walking trail is gonna go through we got a grant for it. We have any where we're at in the process with that, goes up and gonna tie into the Murray Trail.
CRC is leading part of that, but my office is involved in the design. That's what we're talking about, the trail that's connected to the naturescape place.
They could go up, over the hill. Up there and extend over the Settle and then down Settle to the Murray.
Yes, I looked at that Monday when CRC started with the project. Bruce is starting on the naturescape up there. Where the existing asphalt trail that's adjacent to that right now. Continue that trail down.
But I seen the agenda tonight, they talked about a map. Are you here for the master plan?
Are you talking about the master plan for the
Or
park?
Rainbow Park, yeah.
Last month. I can just make sure you get a copy.
Okay, you know, I was sick, okay.
Yeah, and that's a good point though, because it is very confusing because the park is like joint parks and rec, like they're separate departments.
Yeah.
So like the general rule of thumb is like if it's behind the tree line, it's gonna be parks. If it's out in the open, it's gonna be recs. So it's not very simple.
Typically, the park board will own the land versus CRC. CRC manages independently. Things.
Three years ago, I was involved in some of the Cub Scouts groups. But also, because I lived in that area, I did the research with the state of petition with the park board to have a nature preserve. And the understanding that as a nature preserve in the state of Ohio, that once declared a nature preserve, and no man-made construction can be made in that area. And that way preserves it as a natural green space. But like our street Buckingham, there's more about the other side. And at that time, in the 1990s, I was told that park board would recognize it as a nature preserve.
Not sure that myself. I do know that anything we do along that creek right, we're preserving the creek and keeping it from eroding. So if you're talking about, we can certainly look back on and find out if that was actually formally designated. I can ask these questions. So what we do along there is the name of preserving that, mitigating.
The bike trail.
Yeah. And that's, there's no, that's been a long-term ask of parks no offense, of getting proper signage to help. It's a hiking trail, so please don't ride your bike on it.
I just have a quick question. Where the trail goes. Has that ever been surveyed for what property is what?
Absolutely, this map, even if we turn on a few more layers inside of our GIS system, which is, this is based on very accurately what properties are ours and what properties are other people's. That the green outline that you showed was actually, it's a really thick.
It's visible.
There's I think that's Rex. There's a Rex playground back there. Try to pull up Google Maps real quick.
Maybe managed by recreation. Why I don't do it so much. I do quite often with the parks that are part of recreation CRC stuff, but it could be managed. 50 properties that we haven't seen across the city. So I haven't seen more of it.
Yes, managed by the. And I believe they. Signs pointing towards it so people know.
May have to go around, but what about sewage that flows into the little bit?
Great question. Several parts that are mitigated. Which is things, but I'm not involved.
There is a massive storm surge, the overflow mixes together. Was it 100 years ago? It's dumped into Greece. Yeah.
A whole lot of things across the city.
Moving over to board reports. We're doing something a little bit different. Had a handout for the president's report. They got confirmation that we do have a quorum, so if there are no issues, I'll approve the treasurer report about that. And do something differently this time around, and I printed off the president's report. So you don't have to listen to me talk for 5 minutes about a whole bunch of details. But there's one thing I need to address, which Officer Brown mentioned earlier. When the tragic shooting happened at the end of October, we do know people who know people who are able to Secretary was able to get trigger locks from the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, so we're able to pivot for the locks, and so that was able to. When something like this happens, that's so special. You still want to try to work towards doing what you can. Yeah, so we have more specific details.
So as Terry said, we were able to give out locks over Halloween weekend. Thank you to Cap in the background there. We on December 10th at, I just looked at it, I think 10 a.m. Kate, is it here 10 a.m.? We're going to be doing a 11 a.m. A whole training session around secure firearm storage. That's specific, it's called Be Smart. It's all around helping adults learn how to take responsibility to make sure guns are stored properly, which is unloaded, locked up, ammo separately. So we'll have gun locks available at that event as well, and we'll be giving out information. So that's coming up December 10th, 11 a.m.
Thank you. Got on the list, Joan from Beautification is not here today, but we do have two events. Yeah, I'll be better.
Thanks, Derek. I just want, this isn't really beautification, but last Saturday we had, since the discussion tonight has been pretty much about Little Duck Creek Trail, we had a pretty successful trail mulching or wood chipping on the Little Duck Creek Trail. And the section that we did was from Settle Street Bridge back to Rose Street, and then half of the Settle Street to the terminus towards Plainville. And it was a nice, very positive event. We had 20 people. Of those 20 people, 10 were from the Phi Sigma Kappa fraternity from UC. So we had 10 strong gentlemen pushing those wheelbarrows, and then we had various other members from most of our volunteers who keep Cincinnati beautiful, which I have a sort of a continuing ask from them monthly for work to be done. Unfortunately, we only had one member from the community. That was me. So hopefully more will show up. There's always something to happen. What I like to say when I talk to volunteers is, even if you show up for just 1 hour, that's all we need, 2 hours. Usually the events are 3 hours. We will have one on this coming Saturday. Most likely it will be cold, but when you're pushing mulch, you heat up pretty quickly. So if you're interested, show up this next Saturday. We'll be at the trailhead behind the Citizens of the World School at Bramble Park entrance. And there's a huge pile of chips to be moved there. Tomorrow we will be having the Marymount Middle School. We'll be doing a work effort there, sort of service, volunteer service for them. That's middle school kids, so they'll be working on that trail tomorrow. But again, on Saturday, if you're interested, at 9:30, there will be coffee and donuts, and then we'll be pushing that mulch along that trail. Thank you. That's it.
I was working on my library list. Yeah, the final pickup is going to be this Saturday for the Luminaria kits that were pre-ordered. We do have a limited number of kits still available for sale. They answered check on Saturday for those, and we're excited so far. We've grossed about $1,500, about $500, $600 in expense. So definitely there are.
In transportation,
What's time is starting this summer?
12 to 2 at Lighthouse School.
12 to 2 at Lighthouse. Okay, real quick for transportation committee, I just have an announcement about the city's northeast bike survey map. Some of you may have picked this up already. Didn't like raise your hand on what you want. I just got a couple. City is looking for feedback on updates to the bike plan. They've got 5 major segments that are proposed. And the survey asks you to kind of rank which ones you think are most important and any which you have about bike facilities for the sort of segment of the city. So see me if you're interested in getting a survey, we'll get this back to the city. It's also available on the city website. I can help you find that.
Any Jeopardy announcements? I'll make sure I don't keep you.
All right, if you have a paper survey tonight, if you could leave it as you walk out on the front table, we'll scan the results back to the city. If you want to copy, come see me.
Yeah, we'll move on to our community partners and Artsville. Do you have any announcement?
Flyer back on the table. For many of you who have never been to Artsville, I invite you out this holiday season. On December the 3rd, we will have the Queen City Ballroom back. They're doing their holiday hiking show. The last one that they did for Halloween was amazing. We had a great crowd in there and folks really enjoyed it. A lot of family fun. So if you're interested, you can either call Artsville for tickets or you can go online and pick them up. On December the 10th, we will be doing our annual holiday open house. That's our fundraiser. We invite you out to enjoy some food, fun and breaks. We're going to start at 4 and we'll end about 9 o'clock. So please come out and see us. On December 17th, we're going to be having the Children's Holiday Box giveaway. We talked about that last month. We've done this every year now for the last several years. We give away about 200 boxes for kids with bars, etc., and sometimes crafts. We know the kids who between the holiday season don't necessarily get the meals that they should have, and so we like to kind of give away a nice holiday box of crafts and things. So if anybody wants to donate, we ask that you provide 200 of each item because that's how many. Come on out, bring your kids out, get them a holiday box. That's the same day also that Kate is doing the Santa workshop. So thank you so much. Yes.
How much is the
25. This is not even free, but it is a fundraiser. Yes.
One more announcement. Yeah.
So, Arts and Fest, and Education Committee, our annual report is on the back table, sorry it was late. It was actually at the school for Steve Rock's annual readings competition. Really exciting night for the kids. I've never seen that many kids in English. But we have on December 10th, Anna mentioned that we've got the Be Smart training at 11. We also have a layperson's Narcan training at 10 o'clock that morning. Both events are free. There are flyers back here. You can sign up online. We just need to know because we're capping attendance at 40 for each. And then as Kathy mentioned, Arts and Recs is partnering with Artsville to do the holiday workshop on the 17th from 1 to 4. It is for children of all ages. So I expect to see all of you there to come out, have some fun, make some crafts, just enjoy some fellowship with the community. Thank you.
The end of all the announcements. Also missing any alibis. Okay. So we're on a presentation from a developer for some construction that they are planning for Anderson Place at the intersection with Madison Road. Ready to go?
Good evening, my name is Matt Bellerhoff. I'm an attorney at South. I represent the property owner developer of this development. Yes, it's 5500 Madison Road. Again, it is at corner of Madison and Nicholson Place. We are in the process of seeking a major subdivision of this property. We have spent the past base code, the new form-based code, and since we have a development that complies with all aspects of the form-based code. But as a process and as part of coming. Bob Cromwell, who I'm working with, this development, also Craig Abercrombie, these gentlemen are in the back and we're here to answer the question. Craig Abercrombie, who's an architect, and Adam Christo, who's going to represent the ultimate owner and seller of the product. We think these are going to be exciting addition to the Madisonville community. What this is, and I think you received the handouts that show how this is, but it's also up on the screen. These are going to be 7 townhomes. This isn't a big development. It's going to be 7 townhomes on really 8 lots. The 8th lot will be the driveway to the back of the townhomes, where there are 2-car garages in the townhomes, and actually room back there for each townhome with 4 cars to park. So this will be very self-sufficient. It complies with zoning. And again, it complies with the form-based code, and we're very excited about it. Which shows what it'll look like. That'll front on the interface, and that's up on the screen. And there's a layout with the floor plan, and the other document shows how the lots will lay out on the street of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But again, lots or is really the driver. My clients are very excited about this development. Again, we have complied with the zoning, and we're not really asking for anything other than we hope to get a letter of support for the development. We're more than happy to answer questions. That's why we brought our rules. I can say more about square footage and everything else, but it's pretty straightforward. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
As a motion, can I get a second? It's Ramage, thank you. So, please raise your hand and we'll try to get everybody, and we'll make sure we get everybody once before we circle back around.
Please wait for the microphone just because no one can hear at home without speaking into it.
First of all, it irritates me to see that he's busy. All they want to do is put condos, a lot of houses in our neighborhood, but we don't. This is profiteering. We want grocery stores. We want a lot of things in our community. We just don't want apartment buildings in here. It's not fair for the community where there's business people come in here and they don't give nothing back to our community. They build it and they leave, they make them money. So what are you planning on giving something to our community building that, those condos?
First of all, these aren't condos. These are going to be single-family homes, and these are going to be homes for people, and property is zoned residential. It's really the only thing that can be put in it. It could be cost of development, cost of labor, and develop something for that level.
I'll pay attention, but.
Sanford Pool. Live here in Wilsonville, and it had two developments. We're on the other kind here. Now, came in there to made promise and lied to people. Didn't have a work with the neighborhood. They- In the park behind it, they expect. What she's saying, $400,000 on to get a tax abatement from the city. Everybody else around that area, the taxes going to go. You get a 15, 20-year tax abatement, you don't have to pay no taxes. So what she was saying, what is development going to do for people in this Madison area? House, dollar store, don't have a grocery store closed. So what they saying is, I said, come here and lie to them, not include them, tell them they include them, to check the box. So people before you told a lie and got away with it. Got on here, gave the city, gave that whole mall to Acton. They could have took that mall and gave it to the communities. But they didn't. Gave them a lot, 2 lots, taking lots away from them, giving it to them free. There's nobody in here got a free lot and tax abatement other than the rich. So this community been lied to. So I wouldn't trust them.
I can address it just very quickly. I wasn't involved in the act. I'm reading about it. This property was bought by my client. It wasn't. He bought it, and they're spending their own money to develop smaller development than the Athens development. It is really only developing a otherwise vacant lot. Positive increase in allow more homeownership in the past. It's unfortunate what's happened in the past, but I believe this is a different situation.
Is this going to be a PUD?
It's not a PUD. It is, it qualifies under the zoning as
At one time, there used to be an apartment building. And tore down.
Yeah, this is the property next to where those apartments you're thinking of. Yeah, those apartments were like here to the west.
So, okay, do you need any, what kind of variance, are you gonna ask for a variance or anything like that?
we don't need any variance. We make sure that we comply with the zoning as is.
Question is, are you gonna ask for a tax abatement?
There has not been an ask for a tax statement that
And it's not like apartments or anything like that, so it wouldn't qualify for the for commercial tax statement, or occupied.
It wouldn't qualify for the TIF with each individual. Are these gonna be owners in the property? I mean, this, so each individual.
yes, they pass. Yeah.
Usually what happens, the property, you guys turn that information over to the property owner and they can apply. Okay. Thank you. That was your father, Judge. Judge Federal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I was a judge. So, at the meeting, but it was also my father. Was probably. I see, everybody. I see that you wanted to build, as I see this, these new things here at Madison and Anderson. To be honest with you, I really don't think they should build that right there. It's because Madison Road right there has enough traffic. Now I wouldn't build a single family house, no problem. But that portion right there, Madison and Anderson right there does not need any more traffic. It's already clogged up as enough as it is. And I totally agree with all the residents here in this community council meeting. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
And it is going to DOT as part of the permit process.
Well, what was the price point on it? What was the price point on it?
Up to
So the 450 range. And that's zoned on that corner for multi,
I'm all there. It's
it's certainly not single family because you're using a common wall.
town.
I understand.
We are usually when you say maybe.
Yes, it's
But you're
the
still
phrase
using
is single family.
Yes.
Okay, so to me, that's, that's multi-housing because, for me, if I've got a single family house, I've got a yard.
Encourages, one of this code encourages townhomes like this, especially in
Say areas like this.
the area where the form-based code brings the city with adopted.
Only 4 communities that are now open. So I understand.
Okay, the areas that have been form-based code, that's the rules that any.
Well, yeah, and I hear you saying that because that hasn't been the rule around here. Other development. So, and I'm not mad at you. But my question was, so it is zoned for multi on that corner.
For what we're doing. It's own part. This
What is,
It's a T4 small footprint. And the legal definition for this is attached single, since each is an individual parcel
so
and will be individual single.
set it first.
Yeah.
But, hey, I understand that concern about the traffic pattern there. Is there a left turn? There's not a line. So that's also an elementary school crossing and a lot of things happening there, but you evidently got an approval for that. And well, like, our little ones.
We agree, and the studies that were done, and Mr. Abercrombie was here to address that, but I.
And just a question on number of square feet, it's still. 800 or oh, 1600. So pretty this size, and then are they, is it on a slab or is there a? Okay. That's it, thank you.
Also, if Colonel Madison Road during school hours, like the grandkids right here at the place. And so I'm not complaining about building or we have. What do you want to do to make that? On Madison Road is very hard. Or yes, right on top.
This development isn't going to have any effect on the street layout. I heard some concerns about part of where the no parking signs were coming into place. And that's something you can take up with the city.
They're gonna have to park that one. That's next to where you're ready. No, the school, and then you'll try. I pass it, and you gotta, if you're not in line. Back here, like close to. You know. It goes way but it's part here. It's not gonna get over right here, so my thing is that it's already been tested.
That, you know, nothing. That. Sure. When they're going through their permit process for construction, the city DOT will insist on how to manage or signage if there ever is any kind of blocking of a lane or something like that. That's part of this, the process, the rule process.
Everybody goes any further, no one can hear what you're saying online, so when you're holding these mics, you can hold them just like I'm holding it right now. That way the sound is speaking up online, so where you're holding it is only too far. How you're holding it, you talk with your hands like I do, it's, there you go. That way, like online can hear you.
Which just also allows you yourself to watch this video at a later time, because we'll have this, it's gonna be on a Facebook page, it's gonna be on a YouTube page, so if you forget any of these details, you always can go back and watch.
I have one question. I'm not real good with these. And it's a big issue, has always been a big issue, just parking for all of these under these houses, or they on the street, or where's the park?
So as I said, there can be 2-car garages for each of these units. So, for most people only have 2. But then there's room behind those if you have visitors, if the 4 cars total 4 unit there. So we anticipate that there will be.
And that is one of our big issues, and that's what I wanted to ask.
Does the buyer have the option of a porch on front? From the new development on the front, there's no porch for like the sake of like community seeing.
I think there would have been a desire to put a porch on. The form gate base code is very. It took a long time to get figure out where the eaves were going, a whole bunch of it. It's very. So unfortunately, I don't think we can. I can go deeper into it, but it's very.
That'll work. First of curiosity. One thing I like to see. It or the board does.
So it is within zoning, so there's no variances for the zone or anything like that. The next step for them is they're going to the city, they're required to go to the city planning commission. And they have to get approval because this is what's referred to as a major subdivision. There's a website, the city website kind of goes into details, but basically it's a major subdivision because the number of parcels is turned in city council itself. Correct. Major subdivision is approved by the city planning commission and then final say.
It's more of a request, to the young lady's point over there. If it's possible, I know you're not going to be the construction manager, you're not the general contractor. When it gets to that point, would the developer please share the schedule of when they plan on delivering materials where it's going to be blocking the street, whether it's on Madison or Anderson Place? And as a second also request to please never deliver material on Wednesday mornings between 7 and 8 o'clock. That would be great. Also when the trash is being picked up and also when the school parents are dropping off kids. So it would just cause for a lot of extra headache. But more of a request than a question.
Okay, and I have representatives of the developer here, and I.
Yeah, but estimate on how much property taxes. Developer can help you out.
Yeah, I haven't done the math on that, and I don't. Give that number, we just set a range of value. Sorry.
Just a quick question. So many like the single family houses that are being built on take up to over a year. Take that. This is any indication like when we.
Behind, is there an estimate on how long this construction may take?
Well, these are building from big, probably 6 to 7 months.
Said 6 to 7 months is their projection, but as you have made heard things that, a lot of things that are hard to come by.
Are you a real estate lawyer?
All that before, yes.
What type of lawyer are you?
I'm a real estate lawyer. But I,
Really, like.
next, those apartment buildings were to the west of this site.
We carry it into the estimate. Just under 8,000. For if the whole cost is 450,000. Per unit, so per home.
8,000 per unit estimate from the auditor's website. I'm Mr. Tapper, sir.
I just want to offer the developer a win situation here, because one of the things that's been brought up is the fact that in Madisonville, the residents are currently dealing with the concept of a food desert. And more business people, developers, we can get in helping us to something in Madisonville. If you're bringing in new residents, and those residents are going to be facing the same thing the rest of us in Madisonville are facing, is they'll walk up food locations. All these people will have to use their cars all the time, and if we can give them a situation where they can walk up, they're not adding traffic because they're able to walk to food locations. So if the developer, I don't expect the developer to have a solution. I'm just asking the developer to join with us and not work against us on this kind of concept.
I can't speak for the developer, but I'm certain that any developer who's trying to market a residential home would be in favor of finding more amenities in Madisonville. I mean, this developer has already, found Madisonville to be attractive. More amenities such as that would be a positive.
Question, we actually presented the said impact.
Right.
Okay.
So
I don't know why you said that.
accurate, and Mr. Abercrombie can talk about it, but it on the property that's private, so all of the lines that sewer, and then it will eventually look into the city sewer. But to address your question, this has all been vetted by the city, and we have to have approval from MSD. This is already cleared those analyses. That will not be an issue because the city's taking a very hard look.
That's what this little, I don't know what's called, shape. There's, I think what she's asking about was stormwater retention that will be buried before it hits the public. That would offset any kind of stormwater that comes from this construction. It will go into this tank that's buried underground before the lake. It's not just flooding this public. I think one other thing that infrastructure wise that he didn't mention is that the sidewalk on both sides of the property the city is requiring them to replace and modernize the sidewalk, which includes, they're actually being required to give land and dedicate it to the public right of way, physical space. So the city is requiring them to give a couple of feet on the Madison Road side, the sidewalk up, standard sidewalk can fit.
Thank you, that's correct. We already have the zoning approved, yes. We've complied with zoning, and that's
As far as concerns about traffic and walking, and it looks like we are having a study on Medicine Road, the pedestrian and traffic study, so that should seem to help with that situation and make the area more appealing for people who live in here to get to walk places or get places easily and hopefully be more attractive. So I think some of those concerns might be mitigated to that.
Yep. Working forward, the school crossing actually isn't at this intersection anymore because of how unsafe it is. But we are working with the city to create a plan to fix that in the future. It's almost 8:30 at this point. We want to vote on this item. Would someone like to make? Jason Ramage's hand first, followed second by Alex Smith. So this vote for this letter of support that is being asked for is open to all. Don't necessarily have to be an active member as our president, but it's anything that affects the entire.
Could you repeat the motion?
The motion is asking for a letter of support for a major subdivision of this parcel. You have to vote to close debate. Sorry. That is Robert's Rules of Order. Apologies. So by show of hands, how many yeses do we have that want to close debate on this item? Show of hands. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 18. Okay, lower your hands. Are there any no's? Please raise your hand. Is there any abstention? 2. Okay, so the yeses have it. Okay, so debate closed. Now we can vote on the item. By a show of hands, how many yeses are there? Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Two, 3, 4. And by a show of hands, are there any abstentions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 13, 4, 5, the motion is carried. So now we have general body announcements. Does anybody have anything they would like to announce for the community at large?
Well, shut it down. How many guys do you say? know anything, but they're gonna shut down 7th Street.
And second by Israel. Motion adjourned. Meeting adjourned.
Then you're free. Oh, that it's.
No. You know, right.